Hello, everyone. Welcome to the It Doesn't Matter podcast. I'm StrapFacts John. We've got BDC, and we've got the host of the show, the Notorious one, Dom. Boom. And we're here to discuss WrestleMania 2000, our very first show for April of this year. So, Dom, what have we got going on with the WWF Wrestlemania 2000?
All right, we're taking it back 25 years, fella. It is still WrestleMania season. WrestleMania 41 hasn't approached yet, but I love WrestleMania, so I figure we take it back to 2000. Actually, this is your choice. We take it back to 2000. So why did you choose WrestleMania 2000? Strap?
Well, as it turns out, I never saw WrestleMania 2000, so I do remember back in the day, they did have this for free on WWF.com or whatever, and they were streaming the entire pay-per-view for free. I knew nothing about computers back in the day, so I had some piece of crap thing my mom bought from some guy selling it at where she worked, and it was choppy, it was pixelated. I mean, that's what you think the internet was back then, but I barely saw anything. But again, you can listen to it like a radio program. I mean, wrestling is a very visual medium, but we did the best we could with the technology that we had, and I listened and tried to watch the show via the internet. And I do recall my dad yelling down the basement, "Go to sleep, there's school tomorrow," around 10 o'clock. But no, I never actually, and as it turns out, I never actually watched this entire show. And so from that standpoint, that's why I chose it. And hopefully we got some things to talk about regarding this show.
We definitely do, because I vaguely remember the show. Yes, I rewatched it for my note purposes, but it definitely brought me back in the time of, you still had the Attitude Era and in full effect, and you see a lot of TNA. We're not talking about Tess and Albert, and we see basically for the best in the main event. Stone Cold's not here because he had a broken neck at the time or a bad knee, something like that. I know he was hurt. They called on Mick Foley. Mick Foley was retired. They brought him back because they needed another man to hype up the main event. So here we go. WrestleMania 2000 kicks off at the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, California, and we have Lillian Garcia singing the national anthem, and then they show a video package of where WrestleMania started to where we are at now in 2000. They show that dysfunctional family of that McMahon. They show Vince, they show Stephanie, they show Shane, and they show the good one, Linda McMahon. And there's going to be a McMahon in every single corner.
Well, first things first, I'm going to call out the fact that today is 25 years and a day to when WrestleMania 2000 happened. Officially happened April 2nd, 2000.
Yes.
So
the episode will be out a little later
while
we record, but it doesn't matter. Still tune in.
Indeed.
All right, well, WrestleMania 2000 has 13,706 fans. Strap, is that a legit number, or is it something similar to like 93,173?
There were definitely 93,000 people at the Arrowhead Pond in the year 2000. They like to return to the same venue. WrestleMania 12 was in that facility. Unlike that show, everyone stayed through the end of the main event. A lot of people left during the Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart Iron Man match. And they would repeat this later. They would go to Dallas twice, New Orleans, now 3 times, baby. And MetLife Stadium, of course, twice. So they do that. As for the, what was the attendance again? 13,000?
13,706.
Good Lord. If AEW pulled that number, everyone would be saying, man, their business is going down. What a terrible number. I mean, that's not a bad number. That's just what the facility could hold. It was sold out, as they claimed, which is fine. It's just that was just way too small of a building for what the WWFE would become later on. So it's weird hearing that. But I don't know if there was a real or fake number. Not this time. But did you guys happen to notice the theme song for the WrestleMania pay-per-view
was like, ooh, California.
That's right.
Like, something like that, right?
The story of that is Vince McMahon loved Tupac's California Love, but they couldn't get the rights to it. So they had some jamoke make this terrible version of it with a Tupac sound alike, if you ever hear the real version. And of course, this has morphed into Teddy Long's SmackDown general manager theme, the Mac Militant himself. But, look it up on your own time if you want.
That's right.
Yeah, the basis of that song. All I could hear was like, this is fake Tupac.
All right. Well, we got Jerry the King Lawler and good old JR on commentary. And then our opening match, Peacock just went right to the ring. We have the Godfather and D'Lo Brown with Ice-T in the ring, and they taking on the big boss man and Bull Buchanan. And I remember watching this because I had the VHS of WrestleMania 2000 and I had the DVD. And then this is when the WWF had the Aggression album. I like that.
Yep.
And the Godfather had the Pimpin' Easy Man, Pimpin' Easy Man by Ice-T. They just skipped all that shit. They probably didn't want to pay Ice-T. They didn't acknowledge Ice-T.
More than likely.
Whatsoever. Wow.
Man, now, whoever edited that did a terrible job. Like,
yeah, I'm
really
like, wait a minute.
Awful job.
It was the whole show, though. It seemed like this show was going to commercials throughout the whole show.
Did it black out a lot? I thought it was just me. I'm like, I know I paid for the ad free.
Yeah.
No, even on Peacock, if you have the ad
blacked
free,
a lot.
It does that. So if you're trying to get a clean version of it, Peacock, it doesn't show you the ad, but it'll black out like that.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, hold on. I paid for ad free. I don't know why this shit taking place.
That wasn't part of it, but
okay, so that's just how it is.
No, yeah.
All right, well, this match, it was a very physical fight with these four men, BossMan, Bull Buchanan, Godfather, and D'Lo Brown. And D'Lo, he kept getting worked on, but at some point, the Godfather, he finally got the hot tag. Godfather, he took it. He hit the whole train on the big BossMan. D'Lo Brown goes for the frog splash, but big Bull Buchanan, he stops him. BossMan out of nowhere hits a sidewalk slam. Bull with the big leg drop off the top rope, and they win. And then after that, the big BossMan does what he does. He terrorized those hoes and ran them to the back. Big BossMan and big Bull Buchanan are your winner. Guys, BDC, what's your thoughts on this match right here?
I forgot how big Bull Buchanan was.
Seriously.
I forgot how big he was until I saw him standing next to the big BossMan. And then he was fairly agile and athletic for that size too, which was cool. The match was okay for a starter. D'Lo got worked over most of the match. Godfather gets the hot tag, but it really doesn't go anywhere in the end anyway because Bull Buchanan and Big Boss Man won. It was a good starter match, though.
Yeah, it was definitely a good opening match. I wish I could have seen Ice-T because I know he had a promo before or whatever, and definitely he performed the entrance. So
yeah, he performed. Man. He performed the entrance, but they blacked it all out for whatever reason.
John, I need you to make a reel of Ice-T's performance.
Well, the closest you'll get is the wrap-up video at the end of the pay-per-view where you got a little bit of Ice-T there. I remember, reading the review of the show, and they just described it as Ice-T just repeating, "Pimpin' ain't easy, pimpin' ain't easy, man." Just that chorus over and over again. So I don't know what the real performance sounded like. But this match was fine. Yes, Bull Buchanan did look really buff, and Big Boss was nice to see him. And Godfather, and all I could see was his freaking hair just all over the place. And D'Lo was there also. And to preview the next hour of the show, I mean, it was a terrible first hour. I mean, like I said, this match was okay, but then considering what followed it, it's kind of like, man, just throw this entire hour out. And you're like, this is WrestleMania, a 3-hour and change show. And it's like, this is, we'll get to it. But
did it remind you of a WCW show back in 2000, 2001, like old pay-per-view?
Next of all, the crowd was absolutely dead all show long, and that really sucked. That really took it away from the show, if you ask me. But by itself, it was okay. But as a whole, this match, we love great opening matches on pay-per-views. Let's not talk about this one ever again.
If you want to relive that match, pull out the old N64 and pull out WrestleMania 2000. John, you ever play this? Oh, I know what we're doing.
Man, I don't want to touch that controller.
It's right over here.
The left, the right, the middle. I don't know what to hold.
That's what she said. You'll learn it today. All right. I swear you and Platinum always want to get me to talk about these damn hardcore matches. All these fucking multi-man hardcore matches.
Only because in Japan. You know what? We need a Japanese battle royal from New Japan with only Japanese guys, and you're going to announce every single person's name as they get.
Oh, if you think that's funny, check out the latest WCW Nitro podcast. We had a tag team match. We had Bull Nakano, Akira Hokuto.
Come on.
I forgot the other two chicks' name. Mia Suzuki.
Yeah, what was it? It was
my god.
Cutie Sasaki.
Cutie
Sasaki. And they were in the last one I just don't remember.
Oh my god. Y'all trying to kill me with these names. All right. Well, before we get to the hardcore battle royal, we see the WWF champion Triple H and the women's champion Stephanie McMahon Helmsley, and they both talking about at the end of the night, they're both gonna walk away with their titles. Then we get the battle royal, the hardcore battle royal for the hardcore championship. This match has a 15-minute time limit, and whoever has the last pinfall will be the champion. In this match, we have Tazz, Hardcore Holly, Viscera, Mosh and Thrasher, the Hamburgers, with some unique gear that they had on. The Mean Street Posse, Rodney, Joey Abs, and my man Pete Gas.
Mm-hmm.
The APA, Farouk and Bradshaw, Kaintai, which is Taka Michinoku, and Sho Funaki.
Yep.
And you have your hardcore champion, Crash Holly. My God. This didn't remind me of no damn battle royal. This was just a free-for-all. That's all this shit was right here.
It was a battle royal in the only terms of the number of people in the match. Because it had no parameters of an actual battle royal, because usually you throw somebody over the top rope to eliminate them. This was just pin everybody, and whoever's the last person to pin wins. That's all it was.
All right, well, I'm going to go through my notes right quick. I believe I have every single winner. Here we go. All right, so Tazz, he wins with the T-bone suplex less than 1 minute by hitting Crash. After this, Tazz is your champion, and he made a mistake going outside the ring, going after Viscera. He gets scooped up, he gets rammed to the steel post, and then Viscera slams him for the pin. Viscera is your champ. And after this, Crash gets busted open by his cousin, Hardcore Holly, and then Ron Simmons, he's going at it. I never seen Ron get beat up like that before, and whatsoever. Ron's a manly man. Damn. Bradshaw's going crazy. He's swinging that damn cookie sheet, knocking everybody out. Viscera, he's cleaning house. Oh my God. And then Bradshaw clotheslined the hell Taka Michinoku. He took that man's head off. And then Viscera, for some reason, climbs the top rope, and he gets slammed by the APA. And then Funaki, he gets the pin. Funaki, he's your current champion at the time. And then he starts running backstage, and then Rodney from the Mean Street Posse, he chases him, and then Rodney pins him. Then Joey Yaz becomes the champion. Then Thrasher, and then Pete Gas, he's all bloodied up. He becomes the champion. Then Tazz becomes the champion. And then we're down to like the final minute, and it's just weird. It's just Tazz and Crash Holly in the ring, and you just see everybody like they kind of looking back, like, okay, these two is gonna be in your finish right here. Nobody got in the ring. I peeped that. Why nobody got in the ring at the time? But yeah, Crash pins Tazz, and Tazz put Crash in the Tazz mission. Then out of nowhere, Hardcore Holly took JR's candy jar and smashed over Hardcore, or smashed it over Tazz, and Hardcore Holly is your winner with 3 seconds left.
Which was very odd since technically the referee never counted 3 and even lifted Crash Holly's shoulder. It was very weird in that last 6 seconds.
Yeah, it was.
He was like this. He was like, what are you doing?
Made no damn sense.
Even Finkel was confused.
Yeah, he was. Even Crash was confused. So, Strap, what are your thoughts on this debacle right here?
Well, it was the first thing that caught my attention was that Tazz had his own entrance at WrestleMania.
Yes, he did.
That's one of the proofs that I've never seen the show, because I have never seen Tazz have an individual entrance, and then it made me wonder about his other WrestleMania wrestling appearances. And he was in a 6-man tag the next year with the APA versus the Right to Censor, and then his last wrestling appearance at X8 was with Spike Dudley in a problem. I don't know, maybe a fatal 4-way or something like that. But yeah, Tazz's only single entrance was here, and hey, he just debuted at the Rumble a couple months earlier, and he was still kind of being pushed a little bit, but not too much once Vince saw how short he was. But this,
you know what we should do? We should have some fun.
You want Tazz on the show? All right, you got it.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
We should cover Tazz's 2000.
And he teamed up with Raven at the end of the year. Great.
Royal Rumble, whatever's next, WrestleMania.
He was the ECW champion. He beat Mike Awesome or Tommy Dreamer, and Tommy Dreamer beat him. I don't fucking know. But I was a big Tazz mark back then. And Tazz, RVD, and Tajiri, the coolest guys from ECW. And off eBay, I bought some VHS highlight compilation of Tazz and ECW. So that was a fun little thing. But no, this battle royal, it was all right. I was just kind of looking at who was in it, looking at the most notable stars. Of course, Bradshaw's there, future JBL world champion, and you have Ron Simmons. What are you doing in here? And Tazz, what are you doing in here? But this thing was made for the Mean Street Posse, the Headbangers. I was like, I like their music. What can I say? When that music came on, I was like, oh shit.
That's what we should do. Dress up the Mean Street Posse.
Yeah, we love the Mean Street Posse.
Get some Old Navy sweaters, a white t-shirt, and
oh my god, when they were doing that interview in the back, like the ref was going over the rules, I saw the dude. I was like, is that Brent Albright? Because I just watched the CM Punk thing on YouTube where he had a great feud with Brent Albright in OVW, and it's like, what happened to Brent Albright? It's like, well, he went to Ring of Honor and he sucked there too. But it was Joey Abs. But yeah, everyone turning on each other, and Viscera taking a lot of wild bumps, earning his future residuals from his action figure sales.
That was a big ass raincoat Viscera had on. I tell you that. Oh my goodness, with no hood.
Misdemeanor Elliott there, and no, there's not much to this match. I kind of lost interest toward the end. 15 minutes. It seemed like a short amount of time, but it was overstayed its welcome. And something was with the finish. I mean, obviously, Tim White held up the count because I think Crash was supposed to kick out and retain the title. I thought Tazz won the title accidentally, but I guess it was Hardcore Holly. So it's nice to see Hardcore get some respect there, but it is just the Hardcore title after all. But it was just okay, and it was better seen in highlight form, this Hardcore title battle royal.
Could have been Hardcore going into business for himself.
His own family member, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, after this, we see Al Snow. He is talking to someone in the bathroom stall. And then Steve Blackman said, Al, not tonight. This is the biggest night ever. This is WrestleMania. Not tonight. All right. So
tonight.
before we get into our Al Snow and Steve Blackman segment, Strap, you want to tell the fans about head cheese?
Head cheese is delicious. If you go to your local deli, it's something they make with leftover pig parts and gelatin, and they slice it like deli meat. Head cheese. It's delicious. Don't be afraid of it, you lamos. But head cheese was Al. It was Al Snow and Steve Blackman, and this was a throwback of all throwbacks. And Al Snow was trying to get some personality out of Steve Blackman, and so he put this Wisconsin foam cheese thing on his head, so he was head cheese. Or Al Snow with head and Steve Blackman with cheese. Head cheese, another inside joke that went over the heads of me as a youth, but here they were, and this helped contribute to the terrible first hour here at WrestleMania 2000.
All right, well, our next match, we have Steve Blackman and Al Snow, also known as Head Cheese, taking on TNA of Test and Albert with Trish Stratus, and my
what
God.
An entrance.
BDC, you still think Jacqueline over Trish Stratus any day? You still take her?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. You tripping. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, Al's in the ring, and he calls out a mascot of theirs, and his name is Chester McCheesing, Miss Cheesington, or something like that.
Yep, you got it.
And he's trying to get the fans over, saying, let's go head cheese. And this dude was a little short person. You can't say the word midget, but that's what he was. And he had a cheese outfit, and he's showing his cheeks. Cheesy cheeks.
You want to talk about some bad language? There's a lot of bad. This is the year 2000, after all, folks. There's lots of bad language, lots of bad signs. As a matter of fact, I made a note to make this note. Some of the crowd signs in the crowd, and like I said, this is the year 2000, and things were just different. Jerry the King Lawler calling Kane the big red retired wrestler. That's what he meant to say. In the year 2000, there are two totally separate signs in the different sections of the audience that said, someone is gay. That's what they did back then. So here are two of the signs in the WrestleMania 2000 crowd at the Anaheim Pond. Paul is gay. JD is gay. Someone took time out of their day to write those signs. And there are a lot of signs also saying tits out there. Something Tony Storm would be proud of. Timeless Tony Storm, that is.
Goodness.
Don't watch this with your family, please.
Or do, and appreciate the fact that it was a lot lighter back then.
You just took the abuse and you
ran with it.
You have tough skin.
I'll tell you what. Trish Stratus looked amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Test and Albert, they looked pretty damn good. The only problem with this match is the fans gave no reaction to this match. This match was just a straight dud. And
the fans were ass. Well, just call it what it is. The fans were ass.
Yeah,
they just were.
They were all night. Really, they were.
Yeah. They were not into anything.
Yeah. Tina looked very impressive. In the finish of the match, we see Albert slamming Steve Blackman with a gorilla press, and then Tess goes on the top rope with a diving elbow, which is a beautiful diving elbow for a guy like 6'6", almost 7 foot tall, whatever, for the win. And after the match, Al, he's pissed off. He apologized to Steve Blackman. He thought that Chester McCheesington would be good for the team, and he puts Chester's in the ring, and he tells Steve that it's time for him to cut the cheese. And Al hits Chester with the microphone, knocks him out. Steve Blackman kicks him in the chest or in the cheese heart, whatever you want to call it. And then Al with that leg drop, which was flush. And that was it.
That's the second top rope leg drop we've seen. We'd see another one later, too. That was like the move of the year.
Both of them were pretty tight, though.
Oh, yeah.
Up to this point.
Al looks better now than he looked back then in 2000. That's crazy.
Yeah. I was shocked.
You know what? I made a prediction to myself and to a few select others. My 40s are going to be better than my 30s. I'm working towards that goal.
You know,
BDC goes.
Because you say 40s, and my 40s is pretty much almost run out. So I gotta say my 50s will be better than my 40s.
It could still happen, yes, sir. It can happen for Al Snow.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Al Snow is my hero.
Yeah, he is.
All right. Well, you guys remember the movie Austin Powers? Because Austin Powers is hot in 1997, 2000, and 2004. And they always had a scene where there was like a naked girl or whatever, and they want to show something off. Well, we see...
They tease the shit out of it, yeah.
They tease. Well, we see the cat, Miss Kitty, Jerry King Lawler's wife at the time, backstage with Mae Young, and she just sitting there in her chair, just like I'm sitting in my chair right now, but she's
bucket ass naked.
Bucket naked. And then, oh, I like your sweater. The sweater got a big cat on it. And then, oh yeah, she's standing there, and then, you know, you just see a little bit of this, and next you know, I'm thirsty. You can't give me a water. Oh, you want here's two. Next you know, covered up her titties, and next you know,
that cameraman earned his check.
Wow.
That cameraman earned his check, because if he fucked up once, he was fired.
Vince said, "Go ahead, go lower, go lower. Oh, right there. That's it." Oh my god,
the cat was hot. Not Ernest Miller. This Stacy Carter, the cat.
Carter.
Yep. Yeah.
Stacy Carter.
His ex-wife.
Woo.
Big fan of hers.
She was good.
Mm.
Itty bitty kitties. All right. Well, our next match, we see the ladder match for the tag team titles, a triple threat ladder match. We got the Dudleys, Bubba Ray and Devon taking on the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff taking on Edge and Christian. The Dudley Boys are your tag team champions. This is 25 years ago. And the other day, Bubba Ray Dudley tweeted out, "We should run it back right now, 25 years later." TLC.
And they probably could.
They can't.
They probably could.
Reason why I say they can't, because Christian and Edge, or Adam Copeland, or Adam Cope, Rated R Cope, and Christian Cage in AEW. So you could get that WrestleMania, which you're not. You get an NXT, you get a TNA, whatever pay-per-view they have. You could get 4 out of the 6. It could definitely happen. But everybody knows this match. This is what led to TLC, and it was an amazing match right here. This is where things started to pick up. Every guy is sacrificing themselves. Jeff Hardy, he crashed and burned a few times. Devon, he's out there. Every time that ladder touch him, his body just start convulsing. Christian with the diving crossbody off the ladder to the outside of the ring. Edge on the top rope, spearing Jeff Hardy off the ladder. Bubba with the cutter off the ladder to Christian. My God, this match has every physical thing that you could possibly think of with that ladder. This match is definitely worth watching. And the finish of the match is we see Edge and Christian on top of the ladder, and they had a table set on 2 ladders. Matt Hardy's up there. He's trying to grab the belts. And this is not iconic image right here. Edge just throw his ass right off. And he flips over right through the table that's set on the ground. Yep. Christian grabs the belt. Edge grabs the other belt. Edge and Christian are your tag team champions. Strap, what do you think?
Yeah, like finally, if you're gonna start WrestleMania 2000, start at this match. It's just this is the standard bearer. This is the one that really, I mean, they had the No Mercy 1999 Hardys and Edge and Christian match, ladder match, I believe, the TIT. But yeah, this is the match that set the standard for the rest, for the WWF, for the WWE for many years to come. But watching it with modern eyes, it's tough, because it's like you've seen these things before. At the time, this is the first time lots of those things happened, so it was very revolutionary. But like I said, watching it with modern eyes, it's kind of like, that's cool. I've seen it before, though. I've seen it many times, so it's unfortunate to be desensitized to such things. But definitely, for its time, it was, like I said, revolutionary. It was great. And great job by everyone. Star-making performances by everybody.
Yes.
Made legends out of the 6 of them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to see the backstage stuff of this, WWE recently posted on YouTube behind the scenes of this WrestleMania 2000 ladder match between these three teams. It just recently came out. Definitely give that a check if you really want to see the in-depth details about this match right here. Does matter.
Definitely.
All right, well, our next match, our buffer match, Val Venus, he comes to the ring. He is your special guest referee, and he had that nice ass shirt that says "cocked, locked, and ready to unload." Basically, John likes that shirt, the cum stain T-shirt, but that's what the lettering is all about. Oh man, can you find that shirt, John? Is that on Mercari?
Yeah, the stains won't come out.
Oh,
I
man.
love Val Venus, man. I love the big Val Boski, you know. And so did the best man, Ulysses Q. Williamson. He loved we both loved Val Venus, and he called himself the big U Boski. And so I kept thinking that to myself. Inside joke, no one would ever get, but I would if I had the power to make t-shirts at my beck and call, I would make a big U Boski t-shirt. Like Val Venus, the big Val Boski.
All right, well, our next match, we have the Cat with Mae Young taking on Terry Runnels with the Fabulous Moolah. And like I said, Val Venus is your special guest referee. And the Cat, her outfit, whew, that shit was see-through. You seen it, a little bit of everything on the thong, showed a little bra. And yeah, Terry had the all-black jumpsuit on with the...
Terry wasn't playing either.
Yeah, Terry wasn't playing either. And my God... This was a short segment, short match. Val got to kiss both these ladies. He just dropped Terry like a bad habit.
He got to kiss 3 ladies.
Oof, that last one, something else. Moolah was Mae Young was all over Val Venus, and that was basically, I think the match was by disqualification?
No, the purpose of the match was the first woman to be thrown over the top rope lost.
Okay.
And or thrown outside the ring. So each time that May tried to kiss Val Venus or tried to strip in front of him, the Cat had actually gotten Terry out of the ring. And she didn't win because Val was too busy trying to get May off of him. That last time when she went in for the kiss, Moolah pulled the Cat out the ring and Terry jumped back in the ring, and that's how the match was won. But May was a menace out there.
Yeah, she gave Moolah the Bronco Buster. BDC, would you take a Bronco Buster from Mae Young?
I would not take the oldest Bronco Buster in captivity, thank you.
Jesus.
I would not.
Yeah, so after the match, Kitty Cat, she's pissed off and she rips the pants of Terry. All you see was cheeks. That's all you see.
All you see.
Then Moolah, she stopped it.
Yeah. Wouldn't stop Mae Young, but stop that.
Yeah. They should have had Moolah with Godfather and D'Lo Brown, the Ice-T. You know, you have the pimp. Moolah was a pimp back in the day. They should have put them two together. Seriously.
That's just wrong.
Just the truth.
It's accurate, but it's wrong.
Dark side of the ring.
It's accurate, but it's wrong.
All them girls' money. Poor Luna. Making $500 a week.
Yeah, the dude. I saw a post for her letter.
Yeah.
Her future endeavor letter. I was like, what?
$100 a week?
Like yippee-ki-yay. The fuck?
John, any thoughts on this debacle too?
It just made me think about because they have the Andre the Giant Battle Royal in the future, and they're going to call the Mae Young, the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal, but they got some bad press for it, so it was just the women's Women's Battle Royal. Did they ever rename that? Do you guys recall?
They made it to the Mae Young. No, it wasn't Mae Young.
The Mae Young Classic was something else.
It was supposed to be Moolah, the
Yeah.
Moolah Battle Royal, and then they just changed it to the women's.
And then the pandemic happened, and then they realized that we don't have enough women to fill a 30-person, or whatever it is. It wasn't even a 30. It's not a Rumble match. It was whatever. But so that's all it made me think of. But it was a very, this is like a local promotion kind of match where the rule is pretty simple and the action is very obvious for an unskilled performer. Just throw them out of the ring, not even over the top rope. And then cheating, distracting the ref, cheating behind the ref's back. Very obvious stuff here, but it was quick in and out just to palate cleanse for the audience and again something to hoop.
That wasn't into nothing anyway.
So, yeah, just there it was. And I you could ask me to list WrestleMania 2000 matches, and I never remembered this one. I'll tell you that for good reason, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. After this, we have an intergender tag match. We have Chyna and Too Cool of Grandmaster Sexy and Scotty Too Hotty taking on the Radicals of Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, and Perry Saturn. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
For the Radicals' debut at WrestleMania, this is not the way they should be.
Well, they could not have possibly been in the original WrestleMania plans. It was all last minute, so this is what they got.
Man,
it made me think about Dean Malenko and his WWF career, and I was like, when was his last match? I can't even remember. And it was actually like in the spring of 2002, sometime right after WrestleMania. It was for the Cruiserweight title, and he lost to X-Pac. But that was Dean Malenko's last match.
Like 3 years? 3 years in WWE?
Well, most of 2000, 2001, and some of 2002. So 2.25 years. Yeah. Or 2 years, rather. Just call it that. But Saturn would, he'd stick around a little bit longer, probably somewhere in 2003. And Eddie Guerrero, of course, just think about it. Isn't that weird? Like how time flies, just 4 years later. We're WWE champion. Doesn't even look anything like what he looked like in 2000. Same thing for Benoit. Just how time flies and so many things can happen in a relatively short period of time. So,
what do you guys think about that light heavyweight belt? Malenko had with the red strap.
Didn't even see it.
I would take the purple cruiserweight belt instead.
They hadn't won them 2K games, that red strap light heavyweight title.
Well, Swerve Strickland was on some podcast, and he was mentioning how he had a match after a SmackDown taping, and everyone in the crowd leaves, and they tape 205 Live, and he had a match with Drew Gulak that he's like, oh, we tore the house down. I was like, well, now I gotta check that match out. I found it. It's like I forget when it took place, but it's on the network for 205 Live, and it was a good match for Isaiah Swerve Scott and Cruiserweight champion Drew Gulak. But that's the last time the other day, I just saw him wearing that Cruiserweight belt, and I'm like, that's a nice belt. It's a shame they just retired it completely. But anyway, Radicals versus
Chyna and Too Cool.
And hey,
this is the Chyna show right here. She got her ass beat, but she low blowed 2 out of 3 members, and then she grabbed a handful of Eddie Guerrero and
turned it into a power slam.
Yep, Chyna got the win.
She's cheating.
Chyna Too Cool. Hulk approves.
But I will say that Eddie Guerrero was getting his best heel work in on that match.
A lot of character work, and it was very great to see.
He was getting he was getting that heel work in.
And then he fucking clocked Chyna at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? Oh, man. Crazy.
Yep.
All right. Well, after this, one of my favorite matches of the night is a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Intercontinental title. then the European Championship. Kurt Angle, he is your European and Intercontinental Champion, and he's taking on my guy, Chris Benoit, and he's also taking on Chris Jericho. And this is a good ass match. And the first fall was for the IC title, right?
Yep.
IC title, and
yep.
Benoit with the win.
Oh, yep, Benoit with the win. Benoit pinned Jericho for the IC title.
Yep. Then after that, Jericho got the win for the other one, and Kurt Angle, he didn't get pinned, he didn't get submitted.
Nope. Yep. Jericho pinned Benoit.
And he's looking like a big dummy.
Even though technically not his fault because Bob Backlund put him in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can't listen to that man with dementia.
Well, he ended up catching his old crossface chicken wing, so I'm sure he didn't do that again.
Strap, what are your thoughts on this match right here?
I mean, this was one of the matches I really was looking forward to checking out, and it's a triple threat match. It's going to be sloppy in some spots, and that's okay. And what's funny is that Benoit hit a dragon suplex on Kurt Angle, and his shoulders weren't down. It's kind of like, how do you get their shoulders down in that move anyway? That's just a ridiculous move to do. But it's fun. I like watching it and saying, hey, it's Benoit and Jericho. They faced at Fall Brawl 96. So, and watching Kurt Angle, a young Kurt Angle, and
still had hair,
barely.
And he's going to win the. Seriously, you want to talk about a career year? That's Kurt Angle in the year 2000, King of the Ring, WWF champion. Look at that guy. But three great workers, and all of their first WrestleMania 2000, really where it all began again. Like I said, three great athletes. It was a little clunky here and there, but it was fine. It was one of the better things to check out on this show. So I'll give it a thumbs up. It does matter. Although, I must say, I got to add this. I always thought it was weird that the Intercontinental title was first. Reading about it, it's like the Intercontinental title should be last and the European title should be first. But then, as I'm watching the show, still knowing that information, I'm like, yeah, the Intercontinental title should be first. I don't know why. I've changed my stance over the years. But they just want to have a babyface win at the end of that match. So that's why they had it in that order.
They should do that with Stephanie Vaquer instead of her releasing her title. She could have had, a triple threat match, 2 out of 3 falls.
Well, Shawn Michaels is the king of no jobs, so
this is true. No yob. But yeah, it definitely does matter. Definitely check this out. All right, well, our next match, we have a tag match. We have Kane and Rikishi with Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer is looking real slim at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's taking on DX of the Road Dogg, Jesse James, and X-Pac, and they got Tori, not Tori Wilson, the OG.
Tori. Yeah.
Yes.
Bad Tori.
Kane with the alternate red and black attire. That shit's fire. The black and red.
Yep. Always was.
Paul Bearer with the red jacket on, the Sinister Minister James Mitchell jacket on. And this is a very short match. It was nothing special. It's just like typical WrestleMania. They try to throw everything on the card. You're going to try to get to see everybody who, worked their ass off through the year. I don't even know how this match even landed on the card. Was there a story behind this match right here?
I believe this is the story of Kane was with Tori and she betrayed him to go to X-Pac. So this was kind of his revenge tour.
So how did Rikishi get in the mix?
I have no idea. I have no clue.
Think about it. This show is mostly devoid of video packages, weren't it?
Right.
Yeah.
So, right.
Now when we watch them nowadays, we're like, oh, great, I've seen this before. It's like, you know what? For historical purposes, they gotta put that shit in there.
Yeah, because I think at this point, Rikishi is he is. I don't know if this was after his "I did it for the Rock" phase, where he was not necessarily back with Too Cool, but he was still kind of cool with him. So if they came out and they gave him glasses, he might actually dance, but then again, he might not.
Well,
I don't know.
technically, BDC, at this, if we're doing the timeline here, Rikishi already ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin at the Survivor Series, technically, but they didn't plan that far out ahead. They just retroactively made that storyline. But no, he didn't. He debuted in late '99, early 2000, so he was
Okay.
still a hot act here, and he was still cool with Too Cool. He didn't turn heel yet, but technically, yes, he did it for The Rock, and he ran
He
over
did it for The
Stone
Rock.
Cold, a guy with a blonde hair, man. Rikishi. Yeah, sure. And I noticed that when he came out for his entrance, he did the nose thing. That says hello to his sons. I was like, hey, there it is. I wonder if they ever put that in the video game. Do the nose.
We'll find out.
Rikishi. No. Gonna pull out the N64 again.
Hey, it's right here. I'm looking at it right now, buddy. We're gonna do it one day, John. We're gonna do it. We got to call the designer of the Doesn't Matter podcast logo, my man Bobby, and he could put on his Twitch.
Sure. Never mind 2K25, where all the legends are. Let's load this thing in there. Anyway, how's the island doing?
I haven't tried it yet. I ain't played since I was on my hiatus, but I'm back and I'll definitely be on it this weekend. So, hey, BDC, Did you get it yet?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh yeah, what do you think? What's your thoughts?
I haven't played it yet. You don't remember I told you I got the show in 2K and 2K the same day.
So you've been playing the show?
I played the show for like 2 days. I haven't played 2K at all. Like, my PS5 has not been turned on in a week.
Oh, all right.
It's been horrible.
My PS5 is still at the store.
Way to go, Strap.
He's still on the 4. Still on the 4.
I'm on the foe. I don't have the island.
Foe head. All right, well, Kane and Rikishi gets the win. And after that, Too Cool comes out to come celebrate with the guys. They start dancing. Kane's not dancing. Paul Bear's not dancing. Then we see that gobbledygooker, whoever it is, come out.
Oh no, that was the chicken.
The chicken, yeah.
From a whale's vagina.
And they thought it was Paul Bear. All right, they thought it was Pete Rose, but it wasn't Pete Rose. R.I.P. Pete Rose. But Pete Rose did come out, and he swung a bat at Kane, and Kane got him again. You know, they say third time's a charm. Pete got his ass tombstone again. 3 times.
Yep. And I would be remiss if we didn't bring up the fact that Road Dogg caught a stink face.
Big time.
Tori caught a stink face.
Oof.
X-Pac didn't get the stink face, but he did get the tombstone.
Yep.
So I don't know which was better. Probably the tombstone. Because I sure as hell would not want the stink face.
Hell no. Did we ever get a pipe Goldust and Rikishi match? That'd be pretty interesting.
Dude, we've already seen it. Rico versus Rikishi. We've already seen it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see through the algorithms. It was on Instagram, and it was Rico in full gear doing one of his rare appearances, actually. And he was talking about he had a match with Ric Flair, and he actually went over. And there are very few times in the world of professional wrestling where kayfabe totally broke, and that was actually one of them. I was like, there's no world that exists that Rico can actually beat Ric Flair in any scenario. No. And it actually happened. I'm like, all right, this is fake. I can't. That's what broke it. This can't happen. Rico,
what did he do?
Beat Ric Flair.
What did he do? Threaten to take Ric Flair to Space Mountain?
Perhaps. Well, he wasn't that Rick. He wasn't that Rico yet. He's still a 3-minute warning Rico, but it was just like, no, this doesn't happen.
Yes.
Times.
All right. Main event time. McMahon in every corner. We have the most electrifying man in all entertainment. We have The Rock, and in his corner is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. We have the hardcore legend who wasn't even supposed to be here, but he's back, Mick Foley, and he has Linda McMahon. We have the Big Show, who looked real good at this time. He looked fit. He looked agile. He had hair and a gold chain.
Yes.
He was chilling.
Yep.
One big nasty monster. And he has Shane O'Mac. And then we have the Game, the Cerebral Assassin. We have Triple H. And he has his wife, Stephanie McMahon. And I forgot this was an elimination match. I didn't watch the whole thing. You know, it was a long show. It was a long show. WrestleManias are long shows, but whatever, I remember. But the first elimination was that nasty SOB, the Big Show. Big Show got eliminated first.
Yep.
Strike, you want to talk about that? You want to talk about Big Show getting eliminated?
That's you.
You gotta say your name.
I said Strap.
More robust, please. I was listening. I did not hear it. Therefore, I did not respond. I'm like,
oh, mom.
You know.
Yeah. You want to talk about Show getting eliminated?
Yeah, I forgot it was elimination style as well. You know, he landed a really hefty rock bottom, and I was like, oh, okay, you know. But yeah, he did that, and then you just had, you know, the remaining three, and it could have gone any which way. People were really hoping for that romantic storyline with Mick Foley winning the title on his last match ever. But
yeah, that wasn't happening.
And knowing how Mick Foley's career would turn out, and he would make repeated appearances, in the ring, you know, one-offs here and there, and then some. But yeah, they it just turned into a triple threat match. You know, there's some fake team ups here and there. A very fake one with The Rock and Triple H going to attack Mick Foley, and then Rock right out of the corner of his eye nails Triple H.
Yep.
And oh my god, you know. So and then later on, outside the ring, The Rock's on the Spanish announce table, and Triple H is like, "Yeah, Foley, do the elbow thing." Oh man, he was too far, and he can't jump, and he
that looked horrible,
breaking some ribs on
that looked horrible.
So he did that, and then he got pedigreed, kicked out of that. Not the first time that's happened, and not the last time, but Ultimate Warrior and Mick Foley, the pedigree has nothing on these guys. Then there's a chair thrown in the ring from Vince McMahon, I think, and Triple H does that. He has him hooked, and then but he does the pedigree, and he kind of just pushes him down instead. He did one of those pedigrees, the second one, pins Mick Foley. He's out of there. He celebrates a little bit, but then he runs back to the ring and takes Barbie, the barbed wire bat with barbed wire, and whacks Triple H with it. But then, you know, then it's just one-on-one with The Rock and Triple H, which was the projected WrestleMania main event match, which was kind of lame because we've seen them wrestle many times, The Rock and Triple H one-on-one, but that's how it was traditional for WrestleMania. One-on-one main event match for the title. This pay-per-view broke the mold, and also the first time a heel, spoiler alert, won the main event of WrestleMania. But, you know, Vince McMahon, McMahon in every corner, Vince overbooked madness, turned on The Rock, and Triple H retains the championship. The Rock is being carried out, and Vince hugs Stephanie, and Vince, you know, invites Shane. He invites Shane back in, like, I know you hit me, and I hit you, but we're okay. And The Rock comes back in, rock bombs Shane O'Mac, and takes care of Vince, and then there's one, and The Rock is, you know, just staring a laser through Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. But
his rock bottoms are rated E for everyone.
She gives him the finisher, special slap, which causes The Rock to retaliate, gives her a rock bottom, and then Triple H tries to save the scene, but he gets smacked away. And then The Rock does a triple home run run.
Right.
He hits the ropes. Yes.
he hit extra hard that second time before he did it.
He nails the people's elbow on Stephanie, who proceeds to no sell it, and that is the show. That is how you send the fans home happy. There's a lot going on this pay-per-view, but it almost feels like the only match anyone cared about in the crowd was the main event and
the ladder match.
Yeah, it felt like they could have popped more. I thought, I felt like they could have popped more.
Feel like there was hype during that match though, because it was, you got ECW in the ring right there, so it was pretty exciting. It was very extreme. They brought the heat in that match.
I mean, and I was also thinking about the ECW alumni, Perry Saturn and the Dudleys and Tazz, so.
Well, I mean, Eddie and Dean, or Eddie, at the very least, Chris Benoit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's a lot of them in there.
And they had the one's infamous WrestleMania wrap up video packages at the end. That's where Ice-T makes his only appearance. And just watching that back, it's like, all right, well, I just watched WrestleMania 2000, and man, I just didn't really like it as a whole. But
WrestleMania 2000 was bitten by the Y2K bug.
Sure was.
Yep.
Thanks, Jericho.
Well, that's WrestleMania 2000. BDC, does WrestleMania 2000 matter?
In parts.
The second half of the show.
Nah. I will say the ladder match mattered. I will say the Fatal 4-Way somewhat mattered. I will say nothing else really mattered.
Strap?
There with so many modern WrestleManias that have so many great things on them. Now that there have been 40 of them, and you can do in equal amounts from 20 good WrestleManias, 20 poor WrestleManias, you'd probably have to put this in the poor WrestleManias category. So in that sense, WrestleMania 2000, it doesn't matter. Dom.
And for me, rewatching this again, only 3 matches really caught my attention, and this was like a 8, 9, 10 card match show. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yes, but next week, you chose this show.
You shut your mouth.
But next week is definitely going to be. It definitely matters. All of us are going to be on the show. BDC, StrapFacts, Platino will return. He's not here. He's at some Latino concert right now. It doesn't matter. Next week, we're going to relive all of Randy Orton's WrestleMania appearances. Well, matches. Let me not say appearances, matches. I know John liked to throw some straps in there, StrapFacts in there. So, yeah. Next week's all Randy Orton. We talked about the Undertaker streak last year. We talked about John Cena's WrestleMania last month. Yep. This time is going to be all about Randy Orton. I'm going to run through the card right quick, and we're going to kick it off at WrestleMania 20 in a handicap match. Randy Orton, Batista, and the Nature Boy Ric Flair taking on the Rock and Sock Connection in Madison Square Garden at WrestleMania 20. And Strap, he was there. So we're going to hear that. Hear Strap's thoughts on that again. If you want to check the archive, check out our WrestleMania 20 show. That's in there too. WrestleMania 21, The Undertaker. Well, you know what happened there. So
yes, we do.
You know that's an L.
Yeah. Yep.
WrestleMania 22, a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. We have Rey Mysterio taking on Randy Orton and the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. WrestleMania 23, Orton's in a Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah, it was.
The wrong guy won. He was over, the wrong guy won. But all right, in 24, he's in a triple threat match defending the WWE Championship against John Cena and Triple H. Then we see him against Triple H. Then you see him against his legacy teammates, Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase, in a triple threat match. He had a lot of triple threat matches at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Seems like it.
Yeah, but my first WrestleMania 27, Atlanta, Georgia, he takes on CM Punk. That was a good-ass match. I'm looking forward to rewatching this. If you want to hear all of us talk about that, check out our WrestleMania 27 episode in the archives. We talked about that. He got Kane. He has a 6-man tag. He's teaming with Big Show and Sheamus, taking on the Shield, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. WrestleMania 30, Daniel Bryan and Batista. We all talk about that. Check the archives.
Yeah, I think.
Show.
This is a clip show?
Wait.
You're just going to, never mind doing a real show. Just clip together all of our old episodes.
Jeez.
Well, we got BDC in here, so he might
we'll play it for him.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking. 30 was the first NOLA, wasn't it?
Yep.
We were there.
We were all there. We were all there. And then WrestleMania 31. Oh my goodness, this still gives me goosebumps. Seth Rollins and Randy Orton to kick off the show. To kick off the show. Woo!
The mother effing counter of all effing time.
We ain't talking about that show yet. That's next year. WrestleMania 31. WrestleMania 33. Bray Wyatt for the WWE Championship.
Yeah, that was a weird angle.
WrestleMania 34. I do not remember. I was there. I do not remember this damn match. A fatal 4-way for the United States Championship match. Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, and the new returnee to the WWE coming soon, Rusev.
I don't remember that either. Holy crap. Wait, that happened?
Exactly.
That happened? Holy shit.
I don't remember that match. I don't remember his WrestleMania 35 match. I was in the building. He fought AJ Styles. I do not remember that match.
Must have been stressed out or drinky winky.
Was that before or after Kofi?
That was after Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, which opened the match the show. Oh my god!
Yeah, I remember. Okay, wait. Oh, so it was the second match.
Yes.
Oof, I don't remember this. I don't remember that match.
So what was it? You stressed out or you drunk?
It was too damn cool. I probably kept going inside.
We're on 42 now.
Yeah, well, we're talking
WrestleMania 42 is good. No, I'm saying WrestleMania 42 is coming, so just go backwards. It's going to be before COVID if you're talking 35.
No, we were there. That was Kofi Mania.
Oh, Kofi, mate. I thought you said Kofi. I was like,
no, that was Kofi Mania right there.
Kofi Mania.
I don't remember Randy Orton fighting AJ Styles. I really don't remember that match.
Yeah, you and me neither.
Like, and me and John, we had talked off air. He said, yeah, AJ's matches at WrestleMania, they don't mean nothing.
They're not as good as they should be. But, hey, he's got Logan Paul this year, so we'll see.
That should be a good match. Logan Paul on that pulverizer, woo, that's clean. I like that.
Yeah.
You like that move, John?
It was nice.
Oh, you're so modest.
Tell me how you really feel.
36, Edge, last man standing.
Remember that.
37, he faces The Fiend. I vaguely remember that one.
Just say no.
Vaguely.
It was night too.
Do you remember that feud?
Is this when he joined, or is it the first one he joined?
No. This is the feud that is highlighted by Alexa Bliss literally straddling him in the middle of the ring with the Fiend behind her when the Fiend returned. That everybody snapped off about it. It was like, including his wife.
Huh. I remember him. I remember her on his lap. I do remember that. But I really don't remember the match.
Oh, that you remember.
Everybody remembers that. Everybody remembers.
Everybody remember that.
I don't remember
them pancakes. All right, and his last WrestleMania match, was a triple threat tag match for the Raw tag titles. You have Rated RK Bro, the
Yes.
Street Profits, and the Alpha Academy. Was that night 1, night 2, John? I don't remember that. I don't remember the night, but
2.
2.
And his actual last WrestleMania match was a triple threat match with Logan Paul and Kevin Owens.
Not 39? Yeah, he didn't fight in 40. Okay. Damn, I don't remember that match either. Damn. Where the hell?
What if Cody's backup wasn't The Undertaker? It was Randy Orton? That'd be fucking weird, huh?
Well, couldn't be any more weird than The Undertaker.
Mark Calloway.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he just came from his show.
The sheriff of WWE. All of a sudden, I was like, so he's the sheriff now. Okay.
When Stone Cold was sheriff, he had a little badge, and Triple H was like, "Is that a little badge? That little star cowboy?" And then he never wore it again.
At least he didn't have the dumb little hat to go with it like Kurt Angle.
Yippee-ki-yay. I'm a real cowboy.
Yep. Well, this concludes WrestleMania 2000. Next week, Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
That's going to be a blast.
Yes. John, shut us down.
Folks, we would like to thank you for listening and watching the It Doesn't Matter podcast featuring WrestleMania 2000, a show that, according to this podcast, it doesn't matter. So, like, follow, subscribe, comment below. We'd love to hear from you. We love the comment to you. So, for BDC, myself, and the Notorious Dom, we will see you next time. Boo.